Can your Social Security benefits be garnished? Well, it turns out yes, and by the Social Security Administration, as millions of seniors are about to find out this month in July 2025, they're about to be hit with a big cut in their Social Security benefits. I am going to explain to you why. And the president of AARP is sounding the alarm about Social Security benefits, primarily due to the $18,000 in cuts that was recently announced that is coming in the near future that has a lot of seniors concerned about their benefits. I am going to explain to you what that is about. And I am going to talk about Social Security cost of living adjustment that is coming. There's been a forecast of what your cost of living adjustment is going to look like in 2026, and I'm going to share that with you. My name is Kwame Kwade. I am a government benefits expert. For 15 years, I've been helping seniors get the retirement benefits they deserve. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. I am glad you're here. Do me a favor, go into the comment section and let me know your city and your state. And if you're watching my channel for a while now, thank you for returning. There's a lot to cover today. Let's get started. So, there was an article that came out recently from the Motley Fool that caught my attention. And I wanted to share that with you because it was talking about Social Security garnishment. And I know there's been a lot of questions about this, about whether the government or your Social Security benefits can be garnished. Well, it turns out that it can, and they've actually started. And so let's walk through what's happening. And the announcement was that it was going to start in July the 31st, but apparently it's already started. So let me walk you through this article and the specifics of it. And most importantly, what you can do about it if you become one of those people that's impacted by this. So basically, a number of changes have been made to Social Security since President Trump took office in a little over 6 months ago. A 50% clawback rate on Social Security overpayment, a five-fold increase from Joe Biden's presidency, is now officially in place. Beneficiaries who've been overpaid have a trio of legal options available that can waive or reduce their Social Security payment liability. So let's talk about it. Now, the significant part of this article is that for potentially over 1 million and up to 3 million beneficiaries, their monthly check is now enduring a significant cut because of recent changes that has been made by the Trump administration. Since President Trump began his second term a little over 6 months ago, a multitude of changes have been made to America's leading retirement program. Some of these changes include the end to paper checks by September the 30th. I have an update about that, as well as beefed up personal identification measures for beneficiaries. But the biggest Social Security change undertaken by the Trump administration have to do with the reinstatement adjustment of two garnishments. For instance, the president's administration has suggested that by sometime this summer, and we all thought it was going to be July the 31st, garnishment of up to 15% may recommence for delinquent federal loans borrowers who are receiving Social Security benefits. So there's a couple of garnishment options that are coming up. So let me explain this first one. So if you are a senior and you've defaulted on your student loan, now believe it or not, seniors on Social Security are still paying student loans, which it's a wild and crazy thing to think about, that sometimes your student loan stays with you all the way into retirement. That's a whole different video for another day. But the point is that if you are a senior and you still carry student loans and you've defaulted on it, and believe it or not, over 1 million seniors have defaulted on their student loans, then the administration is now going to start garnishing your Social Security check, taking 15% of your check to pay for the student loans that you owe to the federal government. So that is the first thing that is at risk right now for a lot of seniors. But let's go back to the article and read some more, because there's a lot more that's going on with these garnishments. And so, however, Clawing back benefits from those who've overpaid by Social Security is now in full effect. So that's a second thing that they are hitting seniors with. So according to the Social Security Administration's Office of Inspector General, approximately $23 billion in Social Security overpayment remain uncollected at the end of fiscal year 2023. With President Trump making government inefficiency one of his primary focuses, the Social Security Administration is being tasked with collecting overpayments from nearly 2 million beneficiaries, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation, KFF. Now, here's an increase in policy. During the Biden administration, the garnishment rate for overpayment was lowered to just 10%, which is well below the 100% clawback rate during President Barack Obama's presidency and Donald Trump's first term. In 2025, March 2025, the SSA announced plans to reintroduce the old 100% garnishment rate, but ultimately halve it to 50%. So let's talk about that. So, so what they're saying is that if you, in addition to defaulting on your student loan, if you have defaulted on your student loan and you haven't made arrangements to pay it back, if you're on Social Security now, they can come after you and take 15% of your Social Security benefits until that is paid off. In addition, if you owe the Social Security Administration money through overpayment, and overpayment happens when you are working and you're on Social Security or disability benefit, and you fall under the category of people who are required to report their earnings, and you either fail to do so or the Social Security Administration fails to record your earnings timely. And so you are getting more benefits than you should have gotten because, based on a certain threshold, your earnings or your benefits should have been reduced. But they didn't reduce your benefits because they didn't get to the paperwork, and you didn't call them and tell them that your benefits were supposed to be reduced. And so it kept going on, and you kept getting the higher benefit. And then months later or years later, the Social Security Administration then finds out that they were supposed to have been paying you less money maybe months ago or years ago. Well, now they are going to come after that money, and that is what the overpayment is about. Even if the Social Security Administration makes a mistake in calculating your earnings and it results in overpayment, you are still responsible according to federal law. And so they will come and try to take it back. Well, during the Obama administration and the first Trump administration, overpayments were 100% collected. It means that if they find out that you owe money, they will stop sending you your Social Security or disability check unless you're getting SSI. And then they'll use all your money to pay off what you owe until it's all paid off. There's been people who have been impacted years ago who lost their Social Security benefit for up to 2-3 years until the money they owed was all paid back before their Social Security or disability benefits resumed. So now we're back to this Biden administration. There was a lot of pushback. Actually, 60 Minutes did a story, a very humbling story that highlighted the problems associated with Social Security overpayments and how horrible it is for seniors who are impacted and people on disability benefits who are caught up in this process. And so during the Biden administration, after a lot of pushback from Congress, they reduced the overpayment collection rate from 100%, like it was in the Obama and first Trump administration, to 10%. So that provided a lot of relief because 10% is manageable versus 100%. So that went through the entire Biden administration. And then President Trump is back in office, and Doge and the effort to reduce fraud, waste, and abuse has been going on for the last 6 months, and they restored the 100% back. Now, a lot of us made a lot of noise about it. We encourage a lot of you to call and make noise about that because that was unfair. And they listened and they backed off from the 100% and it's now 50%. So I'm giving you all this background for you to understand that the federal government can garnish your Social Security check if you owe money on student loans to the government or if you owe overpayment to the government. And they are doing it now They were supposed to start in July 31st. Apparently, they've already started. And so if you look at your July Social Security check and it's half of it is gone, or you have your disability check and half of it is gone, it is because you owe overpayment and your check is being garnished for that. Let's read some more. So the Social Security Administration is sending out notices to all those who've been overpaid on April 25th and later, which provided these folks a 90-day grace period to request a lower rate of withholding, a reconsideration, or a waiver. The 90-day grace period ended on July 24th, which means that at least 1 million plus beneficiaries are now seeing a 50% of their benefits cut to satisfy the overpayment. So when you fall into an overpayment situation with the Social Security Administration, you have three options. They're going to send you a letter, and then they're going to give you three options. The first one is to prove that taking your 50% of your Social Security or disability check is going to create a lot of financial problems for you. So you have to then provide a budget and et cetera, to show that it's going to cost you a lot of financial pain. And so you're requesting that they reduce the rate of recollection. So maybe you want them to go from 50% to maybe 20% or 30% or 10%. That's the first option. The next option you have is a reconsideration. So basically, you're saying that I don't owe this money, or I don't owe the amount that you think I owe, or there's a mistake. I need you to relook at the calculation. And then the third is a waiver. A waiver is you saying that, yes, I owe the money, but I cannot pay even a dime of it because I am already under severe financial problems as a senior, as a person on Social Security or disability. And so if you take my money to pay this overpayment, it's going to put me in poverty. It's going to cost me a lot of financial stress. I cannot pay it. That is what a waiver is for. And they'll look at your budget and then decide whether they agree with you or not. They rarely grant waivers. And so you're either going to be doing a reconsideration or appealing for them to lower the rate. But those are your options. And then if all else fails, you can appeal to an administrative judge. There's a Social Security administrative judge you can appeal to that can then look at your case. And typically, if you're going to go to that length, if you're going to take that step, it's better to have an attorney representing you before the judge because they can speak the language. They know how to prepare the documents to make it more favorable or to put the documents in a way that puts you in the better light before the judge. And so know that you also have a right to appeal to a Social Security judge. And that is your final appeal process. If the judge says no, you are on the hook for the money and they're going to come after you and get the money. So this article is saying that people got letters in April. They were given 90 days to make a decision on what they're going to do. That 90-day expired on July the 24th. We were under the understanding that they're going to start taking action July the 31st, but apparently it's already started. So if your check is missing half, whether you're on Social Security, retirement, or disability, this is why. So I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you been impacted by this? Is this something that has affected you in terms of overpayment, garnishment? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to know what your story is, how much they told you, or when did you receive a letter, and have they responded to you when you wrote back to them, and what are they asking you to do? Did they cut your check? Did they reduce your Social Security check? I want to hear from you in the comment section below. Now, the article goes on to say that, let me make sure that I'm actually sharing my screen. Here we go. So it says that in some instances, Social Security overpayments were entirely the fault of the Social Security Administration. In other cases, it could be the end result of a beneficiary failing to update their income. For example, a non-blind worker with disabilities can earn up to $1,620 a month without their Social Security disability being stopped. But if the worker generates more than the $1,620 a month and fails to report it to the Social Security Administration, they will be paid more than they are due. Knowing where the fault for overpayment lies have been a significant impact on your ability to potentially avoid or reduce. So basically, if you had followed the rules, you have provided the documentation, and they still are hitting you with the overpayment, it's important to be able to show that you did the right thing, you followed the rules, and it was their fault that they didn't update their information. And so you are in this overpayment situation, not because it's your fault, but because they failed to do their job. That is a big, big deal. So if you have reported your income and are still being hit with overpayment, this is how you need to present your case. The most desirable of the three options is getting the overpayment completely waived by the Social Security Administration. And if you want to do that, you have to request a waiver. So request for waiver of overpayment recovery is a form, Social Security Administration Form 632BK. That is the one you want to fill out. It's an option when the overpayment wasn't your fault, and it will create a financial hardship to pay back the extra money you received. You will likely need to supply documentation of your qualified expenses to verify your financial hardship. If approved, the SSA, your SSA 632BK request will completely waive any liability of overpayment. So if you get hit with overpayment, the first option is to fill out that form. If you believe that it's going to cause you from financial hardship, but be prepared to provide expenses documentation of why this is so. And then the second completely legal option to available to overpayment is to request reconsideration. Some beneficiaries who take this route are doing so with the goal of getting their overpayment liability waived. You will need to provide the SSA evidence that you haven't been overpaid, and if the agency agrees, it will waive. So if you think they've made a mistake, this is the form that you fill out, the second form. And then the third option to you is to admit that you've been overpaid, but that you simply don't agree with the amount. And then you also fill out another form. So there's a lot of routes that you can take, but the most important thing is that you should not ignore overpayment. If you do, it's going to cause you a lot of problems. So that is the first thing I wanted to bring to your attention. Now, I want to share with you an announcement that I've been sharing the last couple of days because we announced something big recently, and I want to bring it to your attention if you are new to our channel. So here's the deal. We started a membership group. A lot of you had asked us, you wanted a place where you can really connect with each other and also be able to get one-on-one experiences with us, but also for us to be able to share with you topics that we've not been able to share here on YouTube. And so we've started a community called the Benefits Insider Circle on the school platform. I'm going to share the URL in the comment section and in the description to this video. But here's what we'll be covering in that community. Not on YouTube, when you really think about people who are covering Social Security, we are all covering the news stuff, things that are hot in the news, because that is what YouTube likes to push. When you create content on topics that are really meaningful and meaty and deep, YouTube does not promote it. They only push the news stuff, and that can be very frustrating. And so we're creating this community to go deeper beyond what is possible on YouTube and TikTok. We have 100,000 people on TikTok, over 140,000 on YouTube. So now we're building this community for seniors age 55 plus. And here's what you're going to get: strategies on how to maximize your income, retirement living, money saving ideas, part-time job ideas and opportunities, the best and most up-to-date senior discounts and perks, protecting yourself against scams, navigating Social Security living and housing, health, wellness, and aging resources, caregiver support, and building a community where you guys can learn from each other and support each other. So also, if you've been watching our channel for a while, you know that we have guides that we've created these guides that we sell the one we just did recently on the big beautiful bill. There's another we've done on EBT discounts. We have social security maximization. If you're part of this community, all of our guides are going to be available to you for free. I just finished work on a huge 40-page guide on senior financial resources and banking. That is going to save you a ton of money on different banking products. And that is going to be put available in this group in the next 72 hours. And that is also going to be free to you if you're part of this group. So the first 50 people to join are going to get a special lifetime rate to join this membership group. So the address is school.com/benefits insider. I'm going to put the description or the link. I'm going to put the link in the comment section in this video and also on the website. After this video is done, you will see it at the bottom. Now, we have many things we've been doing that is free. This is just another level of support. So, if it's something you're interested in, great. We have a free Facebook group that you can join. We are also growing that Facebook group. So we're trying to meet everybody at where they are. And we're continuing to provide you live information like I'm doing today, this Saturday, July 26th. That is not going to change. But this community is something you guys asked for, or some of you did, and we're creating it so that we can even add more value to you and bring you more content that you don't see anywhere that helps you maximize your retirement. So if you're interested, the link is in the chat and it will be at the bottom of this video and in the comments once I am done. So let's move on to the next thing I wanted to talk to you about, which is the alarm that the AARP CEO is talking about. And you may have heard there is an $18,000 cut that is coming to Social Security and disability benefits. Now, this is serious matter. So let me talk to you about it first. Let's go to the AARP article. The CEO of AARP is sounding an alarm. Let's see what that is about, and then I'll talk about the 18,000 cut, because you're going to see this 18,000 being talked about everywhere because it's serious. It's breaking news. It was something that was shared by a think tank that did the math and came up with the fact that seniors are going to see an $18,000 cut soon if Congress doesn't do anything. So let me explain why. But first, let's look at this article from the AARP CEO sounding the alarm. So, AARP CEO sounds the alarm on Social Security. Trust fund cuts loom. The Social Security, obviously, is a crucial program for seniors. While 43% were confident Social Security would be there for them in 2020. So, when they did a survey in 2020, 43% of people were confident Social Security would be around. Now it's just 36% when they did the survey again in 2025. And the confidence rate in the future of Social Security has not been so low since 2010, when only 35% thought Social Security was a reliable source of income. So what is causing this? Well, young people are especially concerned about the benefit program. This isn't really surprising because all reports indicate the Social Security Trust Fund is going to run out of money by 2034, at which time enough people will keep coming in due to Social Security taxes, will only pay 81%. So what it means is that the money that will come in will be what will be used to pay, because there's no reserve that can top that. And because the money that will be coming in at the time is going to only pay 81%, seniors are going to see a cut. But that is old news, because the new breaking news right now is that 81% cut is actually too low. It's actually more. It's going to be a 24% cut in benefits. Means that seniors are going to see their benefits drop to 76%, not 81%. So what has happened to move it from 81 to 76? Well, two things happened this year. One, the Social Security Fairness Act took money out of the Social Security bucket, and then the big beautiful bill is also taking more money out of the Social Security bucket. Both of those two things have accelerated the trust fund going bankrupt sooner, plus how much money seniors are going to get, which is moving now from 81% to 76%. But let me explain in detail where this came from and why you should take this seriously and what you can do about it. So the survey was done by a respected organization called the let me bring it up. The Committee for Responsible Federal Budget. This is a nonpartisan group, and they came out and says retirees face an 18,000 benefit cut in 7 years. And these guys are very well trusted. So if you go online, every news organization is reporting on this because this is a big deal. And it came as a shock because not only do we know that seniors are going to get a cut in their benefits, but now we have a number to it, and the number is 18,000. So let me walk you through how they came up with that number. So the Social Security Administration, Medicare and Medicaid Trust Fund are only a little more than 7 years away from insolvency based on projections from the program's own trustee. Remember that. The program's own trustee saying that in combination with our estimates of the impact of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. So the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget is saying that based on their analysis of the Social Security trustee report, together with the big beautiful bill and things that are in there that are going to impact the Social Security system, they are predicting it's going to be a 24% cut. So the law dictates that when the trust fund depletes their reserve, payments are limited to incoming revenues. For the Social Security retirement program, we estimate that means a 24% benefit cut in 2032. We are in 2025, so that is about 7 years away after the enactment of the One Big Beautiful Bill. So essentially what they're saying is that is their calculation, that the Big Beautiful Bill is also adding to the problem. We estimate that will be an equal to $18,000 annual benefit cut for a dual earning couple retiring at the start of 2033, shortly after the trust fund insolvency. At that time, those retirees might experience reduced access to health care, again, due to an 11% cut in Medicare hospital insurance payment. This cut could grow over time as scheduled benefits continue to outpace dedicated revenue. So this is the chart that they have in who is going to be affected. And it looks scary. High income seniors are going to lose. Let me make sure that this is displaying on your screen. High income seniors are going to lose 24,000. And all the way to 8,200 single income couple, dual income couples, based on how much money they make. So depending on the couple's age, marital status, and work history, the actual size of the benefit cut could vary. For example, a typical single earner could face a 13,600 cut, while a dual earner low-income couple could face an 11,000 cut. High-income couples could see a closer to... So basically, if you look at the columns, let's go back. The orange one stands for single income couple, and the blue stands for dual income couple. So a single income couple on the low income side will see 8,200, while on the high side 18,000. So at worst, if you are the lowest you could see go down if you are single is 8,200, and the highest as a single person is 18,000. If you're a couple, the lowest cut you can get is 11,000, and the highest is 24,000. So what does this mean, guys? It just means that this is serious, and there are devastating cuts that are going to happen in a few years that seniors are going to be impacted by unless Congress does something. And there are a lot of things Congress can do. I talked about that many times in my videos, and I think that it's going to require political courage. But if you want to fix this, if Congress want to fix this, there's only two ways they can do this. They can either increase the amount of money that is coming through to the Social Security system by removing the payroll cap, or by increasing the Social Security tax rate, or they can slow down how much money is coming out of the system by increasing the full retirement age, or by cutting or eliminating Social Security cost of living adjustment, which I know a lot of you will not be happy about, or by means testing Social Security so that people with higher income gets less benefits regardless of how much they paid into the system. There are 5 options available to Congress to do something about this. They have known about this issue for a long time. It's going to take courage for them to do something about this. So they're going to be in town halls all over the country this summer, and this is an issue that you need to bring to them. You need to ask your congressperson, what are they going to do to prevent you from losing $18,000 on the high side and $8,200 on the low side in 2032? Because remember, this is not just about people who are going to start claiming benefits in the future. This cut is going to happen to everybody on Social Security and disability benefits. Everybody. Why? Because Social Security is a pay-as-you-go system. And so the money coming in is supposed to support the people who are taking retirement benefits, unless there is a trust fund with money in it. And currently, the trust fund has money in it because Social Security built surpluses in the past, and now they are tapping into that surplus and using it to make up for the gap in payments. And so if you go to a town hall meeting with your congressperson, your senator, your house person, let them know that you are on track to lose $8,200 of your Social Security benefits on the low side, or $18,000 on the high side as a single person, or as a couple, $11,000 or $24,000 on the high side. So what are they going to do about it? And they cannot say they don't know, because they know there are 5 options that they've known about that is going to require some courage for them to do, and they have to take it seriously, because otherwise seniors are going to be in for a lot of pain. So I wanted to let you know this so that when you hear other creators talking about this, you have an idea of what the background is. How did we get here? What are the reasons why Social Security is going to be cutting benefits to seniors in the future? Well, I can give you a couple of reasons why. The first reason is that more people are collecting benefits than ever. That's just a fact. More retirees are collecting benefits than ever before. Number 2, less people are paying into the Social Security system than ever before. It used to be that you need 5 people to support every retiree collecting benefits, 5 people working and paying Social Security taxes to support every retiree. Now we have about 2.7. So we have less people working, supporting each retiree, when we have more people collecting benefits. Part of it is also the birth rate in the United States has fallen over the last couple of decades. People are having less children. And so you don't have a lot of people going to the workforce to pay into Social Security to support the record number of people that are getting benefits. Another reason is that retirees are living longer. That's a good thing, but that's also creating pressure on the Social Security system. The average person is living 6 years longer and collecting benefits 6 years longer than it was a few decades ago. You put all that together, and that's why we are where we are. Now, I know a lot of you will come in and say, well, Congress stole money from the Social Security pot and never put it in. Yes, Congress did borrow money from Social Security, and by law, they are supposed to write Social Security an IOU, and they did. And That IOU is in the trustee report. You can read it for yourself and see all the money Congress has borrowed and what when because when Congress borrows money from Social Security, they write an IOU. It is put into government bonds, and so you can read the report and see how much money of Social Security is invested in government bonds, how much money the government owes Social Security. All that is recorded. But even if all that money came back, it does not fix the problem. There is still a gap, a huge gap, a $200 billion gap annually that, if it doesn't get closed, will cause benefits to be severely reduced in the very near future. So, guys, that is what I wanted to share with you today. I want to emphasize that if you are interested in joining our community, our school community, and be part of these topics that we're going to be going deeper into, I'm going to put the link in the comment section below. If you get it at the introductory price, you're getting all our guides for free. And I said I'm going to release a new guide about senior finances and banking. That alone will save you so much money. And that is going to be available in 72 hours. But the reason we're setting up this community is because some of you asked for it. We are also creating actually created a free Facebook group for those of you who also want to be part of a Facebook group. So we're trying to do all these things and meet everybody where they are, because we want to bring you the most value as a channel. And so some of you requested a community. We've set it up. The first 50 members will get it at a severely reduced price. And I am looking forward to engaging with you there, providing you more value and helping you maximize your Social Security and your retirement in general. So go to school.com/benefits insider, or click on the link I'm about to drop in the description to this video and in the comments. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there and sharing all these amazing things that we have planned for you guys. So thank you for joining me this Saturday afternoon. I hope you found value in what I shared today. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back tomorrow afternoon with more breaking news and updates, anything in and out of Congress that could affect your Social Security, retirement benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps. I haven't covered food stamps in a while, so we're probably due for another food stamps video to explain to you what's happening there and how you can maximize your benefits on that. So until I see you tomorrow, thank you for joining me.